Good morning. Another gorgeous day. Just wanted to make a quick video on one subject, because I've seen a fair bit of discussion lately on it. And this is the damage season that started with crows and other animals um, digging for grubs. This is something that we do suffer from here. Let me just turn that radio down. The soil here is quite sandy, and that makes us quite vulnerable to chafer grubs. So where do I start? There's no chemical treatment that's legally available for use. Can argue the rights and wrongs over that, but that is the case. The only recommended treatment is to apply nematodes, which is effectively a biological weapon. Now, they can work, but the conditions that you apply them with are very, very tight. It needs to be a certain level of humidity, a certain temperature range. You need to get a certain amount of water in afterwards, otherwise these nematodes die off and they're ineffective. And it's not cheap. It is in the low thousands to treat a typical cricket ground. Now we did try that. Here comes the wind. We did try that, and I have to say the success rate was about 65%, 70% at best. That's not a scientific measure. That's just me looking at the difference the treatment made. That was applied by a proper contractor. It wasn't an amateur job. It wasn't me just thinking, oh, I'll try it. That was the result. So what can you do? Well, there are some things that you can do to help reduce the damage and recover quicker. So I'll just move on to that for a minute. Right, so as you can possibly see, there's a few some signs of some damage here. Now, this is the outfield. The first thing you do is you need to address the overall health of the soil. The better condition it's in terms of grass density and root growth, the more resistant it is to being attacked and the quicker it will recover. So a policy of actually working on the outfield, and I know many clubs do it, I think there's quite a few that don't do anything perhaps other than cut. Scarification, get the rubbish out of it. Fertilising if you can afford it. I know it's not cheap. Weed control. The signs of weakness if you're getting attacked by chafers is you start getting light coloured patches. Now I know, okay, we've got a long dry warm spell recently, so you're going to get those anyway, but you can treat with ferrous sulfate, iron sulfate. You can dilute that down, get that applied. That is not expensive, especially if you buy the industrial quality stuff, not the stuff you get from a garden centre. I'm paying about £3, £4 for a couple of kilo. So you can do that, because then it hides the damage. So general turf care, it will help. Now let's go to some damage that we still got. You can see there, I'll just zoom in a little bit. I think this is crows looking for where there used to be food, because they're not ripping the surface up. Practical steps: damp the area down, put the soil back in place. And I don't usually put the heavy roller on the outfield, but I'll put that in because it will just makes it harder for them to dig up. You can go around and just fill holes in, but they're going to attack these areas they perceive as weak. So again, it's vital for me, overall turf health. Treatments, there isn't anything, and it's so frustrating. I've done as a fair bit of reading. I'm not going to call it research, because I don't think you research by going through Google. Research is probably a little bit more than that. It was interesting to find out historically what was used to control chafers, leather jackets, even worms, as opposed to what's used now. Even good old Jay's fluid many years ago was your standard treatment. It's not recommended these days, it's not marketed as that, and I am not recommending you should use it. That's what they used to use. Now, I have got damage, so this is with what treatments I can give it. I was going to show you an area that is not treated. I've literally gone 10 steps, because that's the fence, that's the outfield. There is no product of any kind put on this area. Cut it occasionally, but it's had no turf hardening, it's had no sulfate, it doesn't get weed killer or anything. Now you look at this, you might be able to see that. Yeah, you go. That's a sign of chafer damage. It just peels back. And we've got a fair bit of it. In fact, there's an even worse patch over here. I've seen people like, oh, well, is it crows or is it badgers? Personally, I don't think it matters. Crows are stronger than you think. They can open the turf up if it's weak, because it's been attacked by chafers. It can then be pulled back. Badgers, badgers, obviously not much you can do with them. They're a protected animal. This is the typical sign of chafers. Well, I can just peel that back. I'm not even trying hard at all. Just peel that back. Well, what do badgers don't like? Strong smelling chemicals, perhaps. It's about managing it. We don't have a proper treatment, but this is what untreated looks like, and that over there is what treatment can do. Got a little dry patch here, which is it's just typical. There's a bit of traffic in and out of this gate, so that gets hard and dry, so it looks weak. So they've come and had a look. Now they're looking for food now. I actually can't. I'm really pushing hard there. So for me, they're looking for food. They're not finding it, but you won't stop them looking. That shiny tape that you stick on little poles, they don't like it, but crows are intelligent. You will have to move them around. You will have to change the positions. Bird scarer, the sort of loud gas gun. If you can, if you're in a residential setting, I suggest you're going to become very unpopular. But it can disturb them. Not going to stop it. So if you've got this kind of problem, you do have my sympathies. Going back to before I got involved here, this ground won an award for the worst outfield in the county. And that wasn't a joke award either. It was actually worth winning because we got the outfield professionally renovated and a year's sponsorship. That's a cracking prize, that. That's so if anybody from any of the major companies is listening, that can do that kind of work, that's a competition worth running, because the clubs cannot afford to get it done. And you get a lot of publicity out of it, so if there's any listening, maybe have a think on that. I think that's about it. It was just I'll try and get this one published as quick as possible. I know it's a bit of a hot topic at the moment, but I just thought I'd share with you what we do. I'm not claiming 100% success, as you see. I'm not hiding anything, but we have reduced the problem to a manageable level. So there are steps you can take. I know it's frustrating. I just wish that there's Merit Turf or whatever was back and available at a reasonable price. It's not. I can't see any chance of it ever getting legal again. So you have to take a bigger view. Discourage the pests where you can, so scarecrows, shiny things, noisemakers. Deal with the food source, so protect that, which is turf health. If you put all those things together, you will reduce the amount of damage. I'm positive of that. It's what I've done here. This is not theoretical. This is a practical result with some fairly limited resources. There's a word for it, and I can't remember what it is right now because I'm getting old. Holistic, that's it. It's a holistic approach. It's looking at the bigger picture. It does work. It really does work. So hope that's been of use to anybody out there. If it hasn't, it's still been fun making it. But, I don't know if you can hear that. Full of crows. Every single one hates my guts, and they're all watching for me to turn me back, which I will be, because I'm putting that away and I'm getting the golf sticks out and I'm going next door for a game. See you later. Arrived at the golf course, and how's that for a bit of groundsmanship? This absolutely gorgeous. That's the 18th. And this is our balcony. So I've just got a cold drink and a bacon butty And then I shall be down on the first tee, which is... Where is it? Yeah, just behind that tree there, you can see somebody on it. This is an absolutely gorgeous golf club. Probably one of the finest municipals in the country. I'm going to enjoy this.